Welcome to Storywise Nonfiction Article Level 1. Make sure to stay until the end of the video for vocabulary explanations. You can also find the vocabulary list in the video's description. Cockatoos. Do you know what a cockatoo is? It's a kind of bird. But it's not just any bird. It's a unique and exciting creature that stands out in many ways. We'll take a closer look at cockatoos and, more specifically, a type called the palm cockatoo. Firstly, let's talk about what cockatoos are. Cockatoos are birds, which means they have feathers, beaks, and they can fly. There are many types, or species, of cockatoos, 21 to be exact. That's quite a lot, isn't it? They come in various shapes and sizes, and each one is special in its own way. One species of cockatoo, which we're going to focus on, is the palm cockatoo. Why are we focusing on the palm cockatoo? Because it's an interesting bird with many unique traits and is found in very specific parts of the world. So, where can we find these palm cockatoos? The answer is in a tiny area in the northern part of Australia and on an island called New Guinea. You might be wondering, where is New Guinea? It's an island in the Pacific Ocean. The island is split into two parts. One part belongs to Indonesia, a country in Southeast Asia. The other part is its own country, named Papua New Guinea. Isn't that fascinating? The palm cockatoo isn't found all over the world. It lives only in these two places, a part of northern Australia and the island of New Guinea. In Australia, the palm cockatoos live in a place called Cape York. Cape York is located at the very top of Queensland, a state in Australia. It is a very remote, or far away, place. That means not many people live there. Over in New Guinea, palm cockatoos can be found all over the island, both in the Indonesian part and in Papua New Guinea. And that is our introduction to cockatoos and the palm cockatoo. Isn't it exciting to learn about such a unique bird, one that's found in only two places in the world? As we move forward, we will discover more about these fantastic creatures. So, get ready to dive deeper into the world of Australia's palm cockatoos. Firstly, let's look at Cape York, the place in Australia where palm cockatoos live. Here, the number of palm cockatoos is not very large. It is estimated that about 1,500 of them live at the top, or northern end, of Cape York. Can you imagine only 1,500 of a certain type of bird in such a big area? It's a bit worrying, isn't it? Unfortunately, this is a big concern for people who study these birds, also known as researchers. The researchers are afraid, or worried, that this number will become even smaller. They fear that in the next 50 years, the number of palm cockatoos in Cape York might decrease by half. That means there could be only around 750 palm cockatoos left in this area. But why is this happening? What is causing the number of palm cockatoos to decrease? There are a few reasons, and we will discuss them now. One problem is that palm cockatoos do not breed, or have babies, very quickly. In fact, they have one of the slowest breeding rates of all the birds in the world. A female palm cockatoo lays only one egg every 2 years. Often, the egg gets eaten by other animals, called predators, or the baby bird doesn't survive. So, a mother bird may successfully raise only one chick every 10 years. Another issue is the loss of their habitat. A habitat is where an animal lives. It includes the animal's home and the area where it finds food. For the palm cockatoos, their habitat is being destroyed or changed in ways that make it difficult for them to survive. Two main causes of habitat loss for the palm cockatoos are mining and wildfires. Mining is when people dig into the ground to find minerals. In Cape York, people mine for a mineral called bauxite. Bauxite is used to make aluminum, which is a metal used in many things, like cars and cans. When people mine for bauxite, they dig large holes in the ground, which can destroy the homes of the palm cockatoos. Wildfires, which Australians call bushfires, are also a problem. These are fires that happen in the wild and can burn down trees. Some of these fires happen naturally, caused by things like lightning. But others happen because of things people do. The number of wildfires has been increasing because of higher temperatures and longer periods of not having enough rain, called drought. These wildfires can destroy the trees that palm cockatoos use to make their nests. So, as you can see, palm cockatoos face some big challenges. They have a slow breeding rate, and they are losing their homes because of mining and wildfires. Let's find out what kind of birds cockatoos are. Cockatoos belong to the parrot family. Can you remember some other birds in this family? Yes, like the colorful macaws or the talkative African gray parrots, cockatoos are parrots too. But unlike their brightly colored cousins, most cockatoos are not so colorful. Cockatoos are found in different parts of the world. They live in Australia, New Guinea, parts of the Philippines and Indonesia, and nearby islands like the Solomon Islands. So, they have a large area of the world where they can live. Now, let's talk about how cockatoos look. Have you ever seen a bird with a crest of feathers on its head? Well, all cockatoos have these crests. These crests are like a crown of feathers that the birds can raise and lower. When you see a cockatoo with its crest raised, it might be excited or alarmed. Another thing that you'll notice about a cockatoo is its beak. Cockatoos have powerful curved beaks. They use these beaks to crack open hard nuts. So, next time you see a cockatoo eating, pay attention to its beak. Now, let's talk about color. Unlike many parrots, cockatoos are not so colorful. Most cockatoos are either black or white or somewhere in between. So, they might not be as colorful as other parrots, but they are still very beautiful birds. Another interesting thing about cockatoos is the noise they make. They are known for their loud screeching noises. These sounds can travel a long distance. This means that even if they are in a dense forest, they can still communicate with each other. So, if you ever hear a loud screeching noise in a forest, it might be a cockatoo. Now, let's look at what cockatoos eat. They like to eat a variety of foods. Some of these foods include insects, berries, nuts, and seeds. So, if you ever see a cockatoo in the wild, you might see it eating one of these things. Cockatoos also have a long lifespan. This means they can live for a long time. In the wild, cockatoos can live for up to 60 years. Can you imagine that? Living for 60 years is a long time for a bird. And if they are kept in zoos, they can live even longer. After learning about cockatoos in general, let's now focus on a special kind of cockatoo. This is the palm cockatoo. These birds have some unique features that make them different from other cockatoos. Let's see how palm cockatoos look. These birds are the largest and heaviest of all the cockatoo species. An adult palm cockatoo can be about 24 inches, 60 centimeters long. That's as long as a yardstick. So, if you ever see a large, heavy bird in the cockatoo family, it could be a palm cockatoo. Palm cockatoos are also different in color. While most cockatoos are black or white, palm cockatoos are a smoky gray color. So, their color is not as bright as some other cockatoos, but it's still very beautiful. Another interesting feature of palm cockatoos is the red patch on either side of their heads. These patches are not covered by feathers. They are bare skin. When the cockatoos become excited, more blood moves to these patches, and they get brighter. So, if you see a palm cockatoo with bright red patches on its head, it might be very excited. Now, let's talk about how palm cockatoos live. Unlike other cockatoos, palm cockatoos do not live in large groups. Instead, they are usually seen in small groups of 6 or fewer. So, they prefer to live with just a few other birds, not in big flocks like some other cockatoos. The noises that palm cockatoos make are also different. Instead of the loud screeching noise that many cockatoos make, palm cockatoos make a noise that is like a loud whistle. This noise is very different from the noises made by other cockatoos. In addition to this loud whistle, palm cockatoos also have a quieter call. Some people say that this noise sounds like a person saying, "Hello?" So if you ever hear a bird that sounds like it's saying, "Hello?" it might be a palm cockatoo. The palm cockatoo from Australia has a very special habit. This habit is very different from what other birds do. It is the drumming habit. Yes, you heard it right. These birds can drum. First, let's try to understand what this drumming habit is. The palm cockatoos in Australia pick up a stick with their left foot. Then, they tap or drum the stick against a dead tree. This makes a sound like a drum. This is a very special habit because no other bird does this. So, this drumming habit is something that only palm cockatoos in Australia do. You might wonder why these birds drum. Researchers have been trying to understand this. At first, it was thought that the birds drummed to test if a tree was a good place for a nest. They thought that the sound of the drumming would tell the bird if the tree was strong and safe. But recent studies have shown a different reason. The studies have shown that male palm cockatoos drum to impress and attract a female. This is like how some birds sing beautiful songs to attract a mate. But instead of singing, palm cockatoos drum. Each male has a different drumming speed or tempo. Some drum fast, while others drum slow. So, each male has a unique drumming style. This makes each male palm cockatoo special. This drumming habit of the palm cockatoos is very interesting. It shows us how creative and unique these birds are. It also shows us that animals have different ways to attract a mate. Some sing, some dance, and some, like the palm cockatoos, drum. Palm cockatoos are special not just for their drumming, but also for their way of having babies. We will now learn about how palm cockatoos have babies. This is called the reproduction process. We will also learn why their reproduction rate is one of the slowest among birds. Let's start with how palm cockatoos have babies. Like many other birds, female palm cockatoos lay eggs. But here is where they are different. A female palm cockatoo lays only one egg every 2 years. This is very different from many other birds who lay many eggs in 1 year. You might be wondering why they lay only one egg. There are a few reasons. One reason is that raising a baby bird is hard work. The parents need to find food, protect the baby from danger, and teach it how to live in the wild. Because of this, it might be easier for the parents to take care of one baby at a time. Another reason is that the eggs or babies often do not survive. Sometimes, other animals eat the eggs. Other times, the baby bird gets sick or does not get enough food. Because of these reasons, a female palm cockatoo may successfully raise only one baby every 10 years. This slow rate of having babies is a big problem. It is one of the slowest among all the birds in the world. This means that the number of palm cockatoos can go down very quickly. If many adult birds die and there are not enough babies to replace them, the number of palm cockatoos will become less and less. Our world is full of beauty and life, but sometimes, changes can cause problems. This is true for the palm cockatoos in Australia. They face many threats from their environment. First, let's talk about wildfires. In Australia, people often call wildfires bushfires. These are big fires that happen in the wild. They can burn a lot of trees and plants. Many things can start wildfires. For example, lightning from a storm can start a wildfire. Sometimes, people accidentally start wildfires too. Recently, wildfires have been happening more often in Australia. Why is this happening? Many scientists say it is because of changes in our climate. The world is becoming hotter. This can make some places drier, which can lead to more wildfires. Now you may wonder, why are wildfires a problem for palm cockatoos? Well, remember that palm cockatoos make their nests in trees. When wildfires burn down these trees, the cockatoos lose their homes. Without a home, it can be hard for them to have babies and survive. The second threat to palm cockatoos is mining. Australia is a big producer of something called bauxite. Bauxite is a kind of rock that people use to make aluminium, a metal. To get the bauxite, people dig big holes in the ground. This is called mining. Some of the biggest bauxite mines are in Cape York, where the palm cockatoos live. These mines can destroy the homes of the palm cockatoos. Also, the noise and dust from the mines can disturb the birds. Now that we understand the challenges palm cockatoos face, let's learn about the efforts being made to protect them. Many people care deeply about these birds and are working hard to make sure they can continue to live in their natural habitat. One important step in helping the palm cockatoos is to list them as endangered. When a species is listed as endangered, it means that there are not many of them left in the wild. This can happen for many reasons, like habitat loss or slow breeding, both of which we know are problems for the palm cockatoos. Once a species is listed as endangered, it gets special protection to help it survive and grow. Researchers in Australia are working hard to get Cape York's drumming cockatoos listed as endangered. These researchers study the cockatoos and know a lot about them. They have seen how wildfires and mining are hurting the cockatoos. By listing the cockatoos as endangered, the researchers hope to give the birds more protection. But researchers can't do it alone. They need help from the government. In Queensland, where Cape York is, the government can make rules to protect the cockatoos. For example, the government can limit where mining can happen, or they can create protected areas where the birds can live safely. This is why the researchers are working with government officials. Together, they can come up with ways to protect the palm cockatoos. This teamwork is very important. Everyone needs to work together to help the palm cockatoos. So, this is the end of our journey learning about the palm cockatoos. We have learned so much about these interesting birds, from their unique drumming habit to the threats they face. Let's hope that the work being done to protect them is successful so future generations can enjoy their special drumming too. Unique. Being the only one of its kind, unlike anything else. Traits. A characteristic or property of an organism. Remote. Situated far from the main centers of population, distant. Researchers. People who conduct detailed study or investigation into a subject in order to discover or revise facts, theories, applications, etc. Concern. A matter of interest or importance. Decrease. Make or become smaller or fewer in size, amount, intensity, or degree. Breeding. The mating and production of offspring by animals. Predators. An animal that naturally preys on others. Habitat. The natural home or environment of an animal, plant, or other organism. Mining. The process or industry of obtaining coal or other minerals from a mine. Wildfires. A large, destructive fire that spreads quickly over woodland or brush. Aluminium. A light silvery gray metal, the chemical element of atomic number 13. It is used in many industrial applications. Nests. A structure or place made or chosen by a bird for laying eggs and sheltering its young. Crest. A comb or tuft of feathers, fur, or skin on the head of a bird or other animal. Alarmed. Frightened or worried. Dense. Closely compacted in substance, crowded, or compact. Excited. Feeling or showing happiness and enthusiasm. Whistle. A high-pitched sound made by forcing breath through a small hole. Drumming. The act of beating rhythmically on a drum or any surface. Tempo. The speed at which a piece of music is played. Reproduction. The process of producing offspring. Raise. To care for a child or young animal until it is fully grown. Survive. To continue to live or exist, especially in difficult conditions. Threats. Something that is a source of danger. Climate. The weather conditions prevailing in an area over a long time. Bauxite. A rock that can be refined to produce aluminum. Disturb. To interfere with, interrupt. Endangered. A species of animal or plant that is seriously at risk of extinction. Government. The governing body of a nation, state, or community. Official. A person holding public office or having official duties. Generation. All of the people born and living at about the same time.